It was a rainy afternoon in 1990. A man named David was sitting in his living room, holding a teddy bear that was falling apart. It was the only thing he had left of his sister, Sarah, who vanished into thin air 34 years ago. David wanted to fix the bear for his own daughter. He took a pair of scissors and sliced open the back seam to replace the old stuffing. But when he reached inside, he didn't just feel cotton. His fingers brushed against something cold. Something hard. He pulled it out. It was a silver locket. And wrapped around it was a note written in crayon. David read the note, and his blood ran cold. The police had spent 3 decades looking for a stranger. But the note inside the bear proved that the person who took Sarah had been sitting at their dinner table the whole time. To understand the secret inside the bear, we have to go back to July 14, 1956. The town of Clearview was the kind of place where people didn't lock their doors. This was the world of 7-year-old Sarah Miller and her big brother, David. Sarah was the golden child, always smiling, always clutching her favorite toy, a golden teddy bear named Mr. Paws. On that Tuesday afternoon, Sarah and David were playing in the front yard. David was 12. He was supposed to be watching her. But for just 2 minutes, he went inside to get a glass of lemonade. When he came back out, the glass slipped from his hand and shattered on the porch. The front yard was empty. The gate was swinging open. And lying face down in the grass was Mr. Paws. Sarah was gone. The police arrived within 20 minutes. They tore the neighborhood apart. They searched the woods, the basements, the trunks of cars. But there was not a single footprint. No tire tracks. No scream. It was as if she had been snatched by a ghost. The only witness was the bear left behind in the grass. The investigation focused on a drifter seen passing through town, but he was cleared. Then they looked at the father, but he had an alibi at work. The case went cold. The Miller family fell apart. The parents divorced 5 years later, unable to handle the grief. But David? David never left. He stayed in the childhood home. He kept Sarah's room exactly the way it was in 1956. And on her bed, sitting on the pillow, was Mr. Paws. David grew up, got married, and had a daughter of his own. But he never forgave himself for going inside to get that lemonade. He looked at that bear every day for 34 years. It was a reminder of his failure. Fast forward to 1990. David is now 46 years old. His own daughter, Emily, asks if she can play with the old bear in the spare room. David hesitates. The bear is rotting. The fabric is thin, and it smells like dust. But he decides it's time to let go of the past. He decides to restore the bear. To give it a new life. He takes Mr. Paws to the kitchen table. He grabs the scissors. He intends to remove the old, lumpy stuffing and replace it with soft, new cotton. He makes an incision along the back seam. He reaches his hand deep into the torso of the bear. He pulls out clumps of old gray wool. But then his fingers hit something that shouldn't be there. It wasn't soft. It was metal. David pulls it out. It's a silver lighter. Expensive. The kind with initials engraved on it. He wipes away the grime. The initials read, J.H. David freezes. He knows those initials. J.H. stood for John Henderson. John Henderson wasn't a stranger. He was the next-door neighbor. The man who had helped search for Sarah. The man who brought casseroles to the family after she vanished. The man who had given Sarah the bear as a birthday gift just a week before she disappeared. But there was more. Stuffed deep inside the bear's head, wrapped in wax paper, was a note. It was written in Sarah's handwriting. It was rushed. Scrawled in red crayon. It read, "Mr. John said we are playing a game. I have to hide the lighter in the bear so his wife doesn't find it. If I do it, he will take me to get ice cream. I'm scared." David realized the truth instantly. The kidnapping wasn't random. It was groomed. Henderson had used the bear to manipulate Sarah. He likely accidentally dropped his lighter while visiting, and convinced Sarah to hide it for him inside the bear's loose seam, using it as a game to lure her out of the yard. But why was the bear left behind? Police theorized that when Henderson came to get her, Sarah dropped the bear in her excitement, or fear. The evidence of her abduction had been sitting on her bed, waiting for David, for 34 years. David called the police. John Henderson was 78 years old, living in a nursing home 3 towns over. When police showed him the lighter, the arrogant old man broke down. He confessed. He led them to a wooded area 5 miles from the childhood home. Sarah was finally found. It wasn't the ending David wanted. But it was the closure he needed. He repaired the bear. He sewed it back up, minus the lighter and the note. He gave it to his daughter. Not as a symbol of guilt, but as a symbol of truth. Sarah's voice had been silent for decades, but she had been screaming the name of her killer the whole time right from the inside of her favorite toy.